We got Casey Zander, women despise men who commit to them, exposing dark female nature. I mean, one of you showed me this video in the Discord, I think. So let's see what it's about. Never heard this guy, never seen any one of his videos. Blind reaction, haven't watched this either. So
modern women literally despise men who commit to them. Now, I don't want this video to sound like evil or like I'm some person who's a pessimist and all this. And this also isn't some bullshit like red pill video where I'm going to drop a bunch of facts and statistics and theories, but just like take a look around and let's reflect it. Like my life over the past 10 years, your life over the past 10 years, like modern women don't like men who commit to them. Okay. And I have some examples of a lot of
okay. Now that's a huge statement. Got some spice to it, very toxic, depending who you ask. Modern women don't like men who commit to them. Now this, I think, is far more nuanced than just that statement says. When you take into account the amount of broken homes, the amount of damage dating culture does to a woman where she gets pumped and dumped, because women have to emotionally attach first before they do sexually. So every guy's potentially a Prince Charming to them when they hook up. And they find out he's actually a bum, a loser, and he's nothing like the concoction in their brain of the perfect Prince Charming that's here to save them. So they go through these phases of hyping up a man mentally and then being disappointed physically once he actually shows his true colors. This happens enough times where they get this, thousand cock stare is what it's called, but really it's straight damn. You can see it in their eyes. Like it's as if their soul left their body and there's nothing there but a resting bitch face and bitterness and like contempt for men. So when they finally do receive love from a genuine, decent guy, to them, it's another man looking to nice his way into some pussy. He's playing the nice guy role, but all men are trash and they only want one thing, because her experiences tell her that once she gives them that one thing, he's going to take off. Hence the damage. This is very popular in the West with our current nuclear families being destroyed. It's actually par for the course. This is the standard in dating. You will most likely, especially on dating apps, meet women with this kind of psychological characteristic. And this is why you see the story play out the same way over and over again. It's sad, man, that when you really know female nature and why they do what they do, you actually feel bad for them. It's like watching somebody completely clueless head towards a cliff and they have no idea it's about to happen, and you're watching it happen in slow-mo as they make every single wrong decision, aka step in life, to go right over that cliff. Can't save them. They don't want to be saved.
Reasons for this, but what you're going to notice is if you commit to women, okay, and this can even be for women with high interest, okay, and I'm talking women who they viewed you as the prize. You're a guy with money, you're a guy with status, you're a guy who's good looking, you're a guy who's...
As I tell you boys, meet the father, see the family. Is the nuclear family intact? Was he there? Was he present? Not only was he there, but active in her life and a positive force. Is he a real man, masculine, leading his family? Does his wife look up to him still? Or has he become like a beta Bob? His wife beats his ass into submission psychologically, and there's nothing left of the man. He's just a husk. That you might as well call that not being present at all. He's just a walking wallet supplying the family with sustenance. That's it. Financial sustenance. That's what you've become.
Smooth. You're a guy who's charismatic, right? You're a guy who clearly can attract other women. Okay? Women find that extremely attractive when you're attracted by other women. Okay? Like every single great, I'll tell you this, over the past 6 months to a year, every great interaction that I've had with women where there's high sexual desire, right? She's super aroused by me, any of those things. It always came, like the highest level of desire, it always came from either mutual friends, meaning that there was a girl who I was seeing who she knew of, who also caught wind in the grapevine that I was seeing her, or it was literally a girl that I was seeing, one of her distant or even close friends. As soon as we stopped talking, now she has interest. Okay.
Yeah, he's in a shitty dating market. I've been through this in college. The reason this happens is because of the proximity of these, quote, mutual friendships. Like you go out with your girlfriend, she invites her girlfriends. The girls there actively put their shield down because you're taken by her. but simultaneously compete with your girlfriend for your attention because you may give off cues that you're a quality man. She may have talked you up in the bedroom or talked you up in general, like you got her flowers or what an amazing guy you are, whatever, right? And the other women already find that attractive. So now when you're hanging around constantly with your girlfriend and she invites her girls around, because that barrier's down and things get real comfortable and all, they begin to build attraction. But they'll never say it out loud to the BFF because it's like you don't want to be a backstabbing bitch who stole someone's man. But we know women compete with one another all the time. So it's a risk when your girl invites you to meet her friends for this very reason. This is why it makes her more nervous. And you as a man, you're like, well, I'm not dating them. I'm dating you. I don't know why you're so nervous. Because she knows female nature, that they're going to look at you, that they're going to be in competition. So when you do break up with a girl, the very first thing that happens is the other ones start to show keen interest in you and maybe start DMing you and texting you and looking for ways to hang out and bump into you and all this other stupid shit because they're not actually friends. They're more like acquaintances. They hang out because it's something to do. They don't have deep brotherhoods like men do, like long blood ties. You know what I mean? Like you will bleed and die for your brother. But women just kind of have these loose networks of social structures that just to keep them afloat reputationally and through social interactions, like going out together because it exposes them to more and more people, more men, more mates, etc. But they don't really have a deep sisterhood and a bond with their fellow female for the very reason of, dating fundamentals between men and women. But what he's saying, unfortunately, for a woman to have strong feminine fundamentals and not be interested in, snaking a man from another woman, you have to have that traditional nuclear family setup for them to actually see what a marriage looks like that's successful and not come from a broken home where mom's sleeping around or dad's bringing different women or parents are cheating on each other. Like the amount of psychological damage people have today just makes dating almost not even worth it. Unless you're getting easy sex and that's all you want, which you have to be self-aware enough to know that you're partaking in some of the damage too, whether you think you can handle it or not. It's just sex, bro. It isn't really just sex, dude. It will affect you just like it affects women, probably to a far less degree, but it will potentially mess you up to meeting a good girl. Because when you meet a good girl, you may become so jaded that maybe she's a bit more refined and restrictive with giving out her body. You may take that as she sees me as a simp. She sees me as a nice guy. How many dudes has she fucked where she gave it up on the first night? Because you've had so much success on the first night with women. Now you put them all in that same, bucket. So that's you dealing with the psychological damage of hookup culture and projecting it onto a decent woman potentially. So be very careful. This is why I tell you guys, like me, when I was in the thick of this kind of stuff, I did see women as basically pump and dump. If I get it easy, every man gets it easy. Can't trust them, can't be in a long-term relationship. And when you do get a good woman, I've probably passed on some very good women that could have made excellent wives. But I was a young, dumb 23, 24, 25-year-old, didn't know shit what about, life and what I wanted. And because I had gotten sex so easy from other women, I just assumed that if they made me wait, they weren't attracted to me, which couldn't have been further from the truth.
That pre-selection status where women see that you're chosen by other women, therefore they have high desire towards you. Okay? I'm talking, and when I say desire, you have to keep this in mind. I'm not talking desires in romantics of like, let's talk all night on FaceTime and get like coffee. What I'm talking, and then get coffee in the morning. What I'm talking is like when she comes over and you guys go on a date, right? And you guys are like making out, or you guys are like,
touching,
whatever. Like you feel her like she's completely like sopping wet, right? Just like ridiculously levels of attraction. It always came from when there was other women in the picture, and through the grapevine or through mutual friends, the other women saw that and they wanted in. Okay, that number one. So straight up, women get turned.
He's just used to that pre-selection method being like the most successful one as far as interest goes. But I'm telling you, day game works the same. Taking a woman out to a nice place and gaming her up. I mean, I've went on walks with women and they were, like had them holding my hand, right? My bicep, whatever, walking hands intertwined and just feeling my bicep in my arm. And you can, and then like putting her head on my shoulder like this as we're walking. dude, it's the clear signal. I know what exactly in that moment what she's thinking of as she's like caressing my bicep and my shoulder and feeling like the muscles. And boom, and this happens on a simple walk out of the restaurant. We just go for a walk, a quick brisk one to a coffee shop, something like that. I've used that move so many times and it works. Again, if you have muscles, if you work out at the gym, like that's the easy one to pull, and it comes off as like very low investment. You're not doing it on purpose, like trying to grab her and kiss her, right? It's not even an initiation thing. It's just like it's from a position of casual interaction instead of like forced attraction. It doesn't seem like you're making a move. It's almost like she's making the move on you.
On when you clearly have other women in your life. That's obviously first. But now let's look at this a step deeper. Modern women don't respect and despise men who commit to them. Okay? I am not immune to this. You are not immune to this. I don't care how much social status anybody.
And we'll just say, sorry to pause so many times, but he does preface this with modern women. For anybody in the comment section getting butthurt, he is specifying a certain kind of woman.
Yes, you are with modern women today. You are not immune to the decrease in desire when you close off your options. Okay, when you close off your options, she went from looking at you as a guy who can have anybody that he wants, or from a guy who's smooth and charismatic, a great seducer, right? A great guy who's a masculine, sexy, attractive to other women.
Let's speed it
up.
And
when you close off that options and you give her the validation and the full undivided attention that says, hey, I really want you. Here's the truth. It lowers your status in her eyes because deep down, she doesn't think that she's that good enough to begin with. Let that sink in. Modern women today come.
That's 100% true. It's a brutal truth. You never start the relationship. The woman starts the relationship. You initiate first contact and start dating. She's the one that has to put the question of what are we at the table? And only then do you say, yeah, okay, let's be boyfriend. Let's be exclusive boyfriend and girlfriend. But if you're pushing for her constantly, like it has to be genuine. She has to want to hook you in and be yours completely. Otherwise, you've negotiated attraction. Unfortunately, there are too many men in her DMs. You weren't the chosen one. You're the one that she just said yes to because you kept begging her and were being persistent. But if she wasn't the one that begged you for a relationship, those DMs are going to be opened and read and potentially acted upon. It's a matter of time. It only is going to take a few fights, a few cold nights, and then a few bit of questions in her head about, I wonder who's in my DM. I wonder, oh yeah, that one guy messaged me. Let me just open it because Beta Bob here's such an asshole today. He doesn't appreciate me. And whatever kooky ass story she's going to concoct in her head about the fight and take your words out of context and make you out to be the bad guy. And all of a sudden, Chad Thundercock in the DMs gets a, hey, big head, I'm free Thursday. It's happened. And it will keep happening.
Compare themselves to every girl with a big fat ass on Instagram. Modern women today compare themselves to every single bimbo on Instagram with big fake tits.
That's true.
Modern women today are looking at every Hollywood magazine, every celebrity, every fucking Instagram influencer who wants to think that she's something with her lip filler. Okay. They're comparing themselves to all these girls. And a lot of them are extremely insecure deep down. So
true.
They don't view themselves as that great to begin with. And there's a few reasons for this. Okay. Not to mention when you commit to just them, and they don't feel good enough or they don't feel like they're the best, she's going to look at you and go, well, he committed to me. He'll actually commit to anybody. He's not high status. I don't even want him anymore.
That's true.
And it's really sad because for those of you who do want like real relationships, okay, the first thing you have to do is you have to unplug from thinking that relationships in your head of the romantic novel of we will be happy together, or if I put X into this, I will get Y out. You need to completely flush that down the toilet. Okay. Here's why most men think like this. And I understand because I'm a businessman. I've always been a businessman. I'm a guy who goes to the gym. I'm a guy who chases success. And when I say chase success, dude, this was ingrained in me ever since I was in high school. Like if I was in track and we were like, I was a miler in track. So like if we put in to fix the relationship, build a better relationship, solve the relationship, do more to not only make her happy, but to just build a strong foundation of mutual understanding and attraction, the less you get out.
I keep telling you guys, the less you put in, the more you get out. So never, ever renege on your identity and who you are once you meet her and you guys get into a relationship. Stop fucking simping to your own girlfriend. Stop getting walked over when she asks you to do shit you don't want to do. Cut it out. If you have to go to the gym, but she wants to hang out and go for brunch, tell her no. You have to go work out. Why are you going to work out? We're together. You want other women looking at you? again, a shit test. And you're going to fail if you say, okay, let's go to brunch. I could work out the next day. And you're going to do this over and over again until you start to look like shit. And then she goes and finds the guy you used to look like. That's how the game works. Never lose your identity. Never let her cross your boundaries. Maintain your frame, period, as a man. It's the hardest thing to do in a relationship is maintain frame because of the amount of access to your time that she has. She's constantly around you. There's nowhere you can go to recharge. You have to literally become this guy by nature. You have to just be in your frame, constantly understand that you're first and she's second at best. Because the moment you put her first on that pedestal is the moment she's going to look down on you like a peasant.
One of the only things in life that works that way. That's why the one thing you can do and the one thing you can control is chase your own success. You can chase your own status. You can keep leveling up. But I'm going to play devil's advocate to this. The question that I have to ask you is why in God's green earth would you commit to 99% of these women? Once again, I don't give a fuck if this is offensive. I don't care. Because I'm going to tell you this. I've been in a multi-year committed relationship. And for the past 12 to 18 months, I've been exclusively single where I have not really committed to any girl and I've seen multiple women. I'm going to tell you this. Life is much better when you have multiple options, and life is much better when you don't commit as a man because you start to see one thing clearly.
And this is the part I personally don't agree with the red pill coming from a traditional family and my parents still being together and seeing other immigrants with traditional families. I think there's no greater pleasure or sense of fulfillment and pride a man can get than to provide and lead a successful family. I know a lot of the quote red pillars, manosphere guys, dating coaches here in the West are just in the thick of the shit. So the advice they give is, hey, if it's so stinky where you're at, you might as well not commit to anything, pump and dump, walk away. That's not what we're made to do as men. We're made to start families, lead them successfully, see our seeds propagate, grow into strong trees, and have kids of their own. You don't want to be 50 with no family. That's a sad state of affairs. What you do dream of being is a man with a woman at home cooking, cleaning, walking through the door, smells incredible, your little children running around, daddy, daddy, welcoming you as soon as you get home from work, and that's your place where you go recharge. Men would kill, I'm telling you, literally kill for that dream to come true.
These women are not worth committing to. And the biggest reason why they're not worth committing to is you like, look at it this way even. I think marriage is a great thing. I think marriage is a great, beautiful thing between men and women. Okay. Marriage can build a nuclear family. Marriage can make it so that way children come into the mix and all of a sudden things are good. Okay. But it has to be with the right person. It has to be with the right person. It has to be with a girl who has not been tapped by every single guy. So when you ask yourself this, why on earth, like when you like committing to a woman or living with a woman or getting married to a woman, these women are fucking for free. Okay. These women are screwing for free. These women are getting fucked without commitment. Why in the hell would you want to go put a ring on it when these women are sleeping with guys without it? Like, why are you over investing into something that didn't protect their sexuality, didn't protect their virginity, right? It doesn't oftentimes.
And often what pisses guys off the most is they'll have the highest demands for that nice guy they do want to settle down with and then claim they need a checklist of 10,000 things from the man and make you jump through hoops and care about your future, but you're not allowed to care about her past or inquire about it whatsoever. So she's allowed to have standards, but you're not. So she's inflating her value and decreasing yours. Isn't that some shit, huh?
Sometimes goes out and sleeps with whoever they want just because they find that guy attractive in the moment. You're not getting anything out of this. So the biggest reason why women despise modern men for committing to them is because deep down, they know that they have not done the right things to probably make themselves a high value woman. Therefore, why would you commit to them? And the second you do, it lowers your value and it lowers your status because she's sitting there scratching her head going, if he'll close off all of his options for my dumb ass, right? If he'll close off all of his options for my dumb ass, why the fuck would I bet on this guy going anywhere? Because you got to look at it this way. A man's status and a man's success dictates the level and the caliber of women he can get. So if you're 23, 24 and you settle on a basic girl who has a notch count of 13, let's say, because that is typically like, let's say she's 20 years old, she probably has a notch count of anywhere from 10 to 20 already. That's just what you have to accept with modern women. If you settle on a basic, average, everyday girl like that, she is not going to bet on you for the long haul, for your status and for your success and your income to keep on climbing. And here's probably why. She knows that your status, your income, your success is a direct correlation of the type of woman you can pull and the type of woman that you can attract. There's leagues to this, make no mistake. There's leagues you have to understand to this. If she sees you close that off and commit to her, she knows you're probably not going any further in life than just her. Or if she does see that you're still driven, here's the other thing too. One more false misconception. A lot of guys, okay, I'm going to open up to a couple different stories that I've never talked about. A lot of guys feel that if they stay on their passion, they stay on their purpose. Oh, I'm on my purpose. She'll love me. I'm making more money. She'll love me. No, motherfucker, wake up. If you're on your purpose and you're fucking grinding and you're all of a sudden making 10K a month, 20K a month, 30K a month, that chick sitting in your house or that chick looking at you is going to have competition anxiety up the ass. Okay? For everybody telling you, oh, yeah, chase your success and that woman's going to stick by you and be a supporter. Fuck no, she won't. A lot of times what's going to happen is these chicks will look at you.
I haven't seen this, but I'm gonna, from experience, seeing some of my friends become, say, dentists or selling businesses for tens of millions of dollars and making it while being with the same woman for years. They will emotionally berate them, psychologically beat them down, try to put their fangs in the guy's psychology, his self-esteem, poison it, and make him think he isn't shit and he is lucky to have her and that no woman would ever want him. Women try to manipulate men emotionally like this to dig their claws in and keep them close, because once a guy hits this stride in life and gets this successful, that competition anxiety is real. She's going to be older, probably doesn't appreciate you or the relationship as much, is used to the lifestyle you're providing, has let herself go either somewhat or a lot, and is now seeing you coming up, and women either half her age or 5 years younger, 10 years younger, slim as hell, what she used to look like, giving you the eyeball now because you're dressing nicer. The cars have been upgraded. The neighborhood you live in is better. Everything about you has gotten better except your woman. They're not stupid, bro. They understand this and they will use dark triad-esque tricks to hold you down, including destroying your self-esteem. What? Let me see. I'm curious what this guy's gonna say.
Like a sucker. And here's why. Competition anxiety goes through the roof. And then when competition anxiety goes through the roof, what she's going to try to do is throw you off that path and beta-tize you. What she's going to try to do oftentimes is get so insecure and so nervous, she's going to self-sabotage the relationship and leave you anyways. I've seen this happen. I've seen this happen so much. I'll give you an example. My dad, nobody knows this, okay?
Yeah, that's the other part of it. So she's either going to try to keep you, or his angle, which happens quite a bit too, is the self-sabotage where she tries to pre-exit the relationship to try to, save herself from the anxiety.
I've never said this in my entire life. My dad became an extremely hard worker. This is where I get my work ethic. This is why I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. My dad started from the bottom, grew a real estate portfolio net worth past probably 30, 35 million in valuation, has like 150, 200 doors of condos, whatever the case is. But I'm not saying that as if like he came from anything. Okay. He came from very broke parents. Okay. Got a 4-year degree. Okay, became a mechanical engineer, was a mechanical engineer for 8 years, started a supplement company that was online in the basement of our first house of me growing up. And then on top of that, he started a brick and mortar supplement store called Nutrisport here in North Dakota. Was doing those, sold both of them. Okay, got his first chunk of cash, then bought his first 8 doors. Okay, then bought his strip mall, kept growing. Okay. Him and my mom were divorced. I will tell you this, the more focused he was, the more driven he was, the more my mom would consistently put a wrench in the relationship, try to purposefully start fights and arguments, throw him off his path or purpose. They didn't even call it that. There's no fucking path and purpose. Motherfucker, they're fighting all night, all day, all night, 24/7. Fight, fight, fight. I come home from school till 1 a.m, fight. I wake up by 6 a.m, I can't even sleep, fighting. Bam. Okay? Dude loses millions of dollars in divorce. That's a big reason why I do what I do and why this even channel exists in the first place, is I watch a guy build an entire net worth for 20 years and then damn near was on the brink of probably offing himself because he was so pissed. And it wasn't even like depression. This motherfucker was pissed. Imagine working your whole life, finally becoming successful, making millions of dollars along the way, finally getting your cash flow to 50 to 100K a month, and not coming from money, right? Not coming from anything, right? And then all of a sudden having her leave and then watching that. And this is my own mom, okay? Right? This is my own mom. I've seen this, right? I'm 15, 16 years old. I come home from school, I'm watching my mom break down in front of the family because she has feelings for her personal trainer, okay? And this is with my dad, who's like 6 foot tall, 230 pounds, jacked, and making a shit ton of money. So you have to understand this. Modern women in general despise men who commit to them. I am not immune to this, and neither are you. And they understand strictly that they don't bring a lot to the table anymore. And when you do commit to them,
I have to say it. Yeah, I have to say it. As much as I really like this guy, he's pretty much got the game down. But some self-introspection and third person, third eye view here is needed, because clearly this has had an effect on his mentality and his worldly view. And obviously we know what happens when a kid witnesses a messy separation. Brother, take some mushrooms, go out in the forest and figure out some, things in life is all I could say. Because there's some damage and trauma we got to heal from here. And dude's very smart. and heads on a swivel. So he knows the game currently and how it's affected him, but I don't know if he's quite moved past. I'm just guessing. But I know that point, that story is where his worldview fundamentally began to grow regards to women and dating. I mean, when you see your quote own mother behave this way, it does seed into you very deeply about what quote female nature is and how you construct your views of women in general. Be very careful with guys in the red pill, in the manosphere and dating coaches, because a lot of them have similar stories like this. And not that it's, bad or anything, but, and I'm not saying this guy specifically is jaded, but there are a ton of jaded dudes and grifters in the space giving advice. From what I've seen this video, man, he's basically spot on everything. I mean, and he's had firsthand experience from his family, and he's probably very successful with women, and it looks like he's doing very well. So there's a lot of experience and authenticity there to back it up from what I've seen in the video. And unfortunately, like I said, you do build the opposite of rose-tinted glasses, almost like beer goggles, but they're called like woman goggles, dating culture goggles, where you're starting to see the same patterns over and over again. And then you apply that to every single person you meet when it doesn't really apply. So then you may screw yourself.
They sit there and scratch their head. Why? She knows she has her Instagram open to 1,000 options. She knows she has Snapchat open and there's a ton of fucking orbiters who want to talk to her and fuck her. She knows this. So when your dumb ass sits there and goes, "Oh, baby, I love you. Oh, yeah, you can talk to that guy. Yeah, I don't mind." She's sitting there going, what a loser. So, no, I don't commit to any of these girls. I don't care. I don't care. They'll fuck without a ring and without a commitment. Why the fuck would I commit to any of them? It makes no sense, and I don't give a fuck. So, when you start to live life on your own terms and you ask yourself, how does this serve me? You're gonna find most women don't serve you at all, right? Every woman says, I don't need a man. Well, the truth is, if you're a fucking high value man, you don't need a woman, right? I don't need, I have my whole income on autopilot. I have a business. Okay, I have cleaners clean my house. I have every toy I need, boat, jet ski, no matter what. Okay, I have a social circle. I can call up whoever I want and they can come chill. What the fuck would I, what do I need to spend time nurturing a relationship for?
Kids.
Okay, but I'm not against it. Here's what I can tell you. When you find a woman, okay, I'll give you an example. Last night, I went on a date, and the girl is super sweet, sweetheart, super down to earth. She seems very good. I don't know her very much yet. I just met her for an hour, but she seems very nice, very wholesome, very good, okay? When you do meet a good girl, when you meet a good human, when you meet a girl who hasn't been through the ringer, who's not acting like a modern woman, don't treat her poorly. Treat her very well. Be a polite gentleman.
All right, base. There you go. That answers what I just said before. The dude's very self-aware. That's good. That's something you won't hear from, like I said, some of the guys that are a bit more burnt at the experiences they've had with women in life. They'll just treat even the good ones the same, perpetuating the cycle of damage for everybody else. And yeah, I like this guy, dude. Whoever recommended me, good job. This dude, we're going to watch a bunch more of his stuff because he's pretty much on the right side of everything. It might be a little blunt for some, but that's the game, baby. Can't negotiate with Mother Nature.
Because you should. So it needs to be a reflection of what's in front of you. I think the problem that you see on these online with a lot of these red pill videos or these manosphere videos is these guys are dorks. These guys aren't going on any dates. These guys aren't actually talking. These guys have theories and concepts, but they're not actually practically in the field, hanging out with girls.
I got to get in contact with this guy. If you're watching my channel in this video, tell this dude that we need to do an interview because it's obvious he's lived this. And when I watch all the other content creators in this space, it's obvious that they don't live this shit, that it's stuff they've read online or seen other friends do. But this guy's legit as fuck from my point of view.
Girls, okay? So when you actually hang out with girls, and keep in mind that probably takes some resources. So over the years, I've acquired resources, meaning I have a house that sometimes I'll entertain guests and have a party. I have a hot tub where sometimes I'll have a hot tub party. I have a boat where sometimes me and 10 friends will go boating, right? We'll pick up girls on the sandbar. We'll do fun stuff. You see female nature. You see how these women behave. I'm not against commitment. I'm just saying modern women with a notch count typically despise men. They typically despise men who commit to them. But the player, the playboy who does whatever the fuck you want, I'm going to tell you this, whatever he wants. You start talking how you want. You start acting how you want. You don't give one fuck who hears or sees. Do you understand how freeing that is?
Not only is it freeing, but it's so crazy to see how positive the response from women are, especially the kind of women he's talking about. When you're very blunt and you have a don't give a fuck attitude and you tell her exactly what you want and how you want it and what you expect out of you and what you expect out of her, She gets extremely attracted. She'll tell you things like, wow, you're so confident. I've never had men rarely talk to me like this. Wow, you dare say that to me? And 100% you mean it. It turns them on, bro. Like, talk about rabid attraction. Telling a woman how you're going to have it, what you're going to do after this date, what you're thinking of doing to her. Hell, you could even take it a step further and just tell her, look, I'm not available for something long term right now, but I'll X, Y, and Z with you tonight, blah, blah, blah. You would think that would be the moment she says, ugh, how dare you? If it is authentic, if you really built yourself up to be a guy like this guy, if you are attractive, if you are the quote Chad in her eyes, it's a welcome advance, man. As crazy as that sounds. The only women that would be disgusted by you being so forward and aggressive in your needs as a man are the women that aren't really into you anyway, that already are making you jump through extra hoops. When that bitch shield is down, when she has genuine and raw sexual attraction for you, there are no barriers, bro. The pace at which you guys move forward physically is determined literally by you and how fast you want to push it. She was ready the moment you told her X, Y, and Z. She's just waiting on you to make the move.
That is scary, like, to most people. To the point where women get so turned on by that because it's just so uncommon. When you release the constraints of the social norms and you stop giving a fuck. So, I hope this video served you, okay? Modern women despise most men who commit to them, and this is
dope video, dope channel. I'm gonna subscribe to it because I'm really impressed with that. I have to message him because he'd be an interesting one to interview. I'm telling you, we've got a lot of war stories to share, and it'd be interesting to see his take on some things and get into these deeper topics. Stuff that you can't talk about with these other bozos that clearly look all disheveled, Pillsbury Doughboy build, blue hair, or some other shit that you know they're not out there actively getting action or can't get it. If you drop them randomly into a club, they probably can't pull any pussy. Like, you just can tell. Some guys just don't know how to talk, are just spewing straight up rage, reading articles and whatnot about what the hell women have done to men or these stupid TikTok highlight reels, but they themselves have no experience, just rehashing information. So anyways, thanks for tuning in, boys. See you on the next one.